Hello everyone. We should be live. I never quite know if we're live or not until 15 seconds pass. But it looks like we're live. Yeah, what's going on everyone? What's going on, Frostbite? Good to see ya. Someone on Unreal. Welcome to another Rokoko Office Hours. I'm Sam Lazarus, Creative Director for Rokoko. What's going on, Sasha? And today we are going to be focusing on the new Rokoko contest, baby. Let me turn down my music a little bit here. A little too loud for me. Let me know if there's any weirdness with the audio or anything, as always. We launched our new animation challenge. You can see it right here behind me. This is the landing page. And today we're going to kind of go through the challenge itself and how to sign up and where to find what it's about, right? We're gonna then we're gonna spend most of the time going through every retargeting workflow that we have. So we're gonna try and go through very quickly kind of how to retarget and how to use motion capture in all of the different softwares. So Unreal, Blender, Cinema 4D, Maya, reallusion. Because of course, this is a Rokoko challenge, you need to use motion capture. Motion capture can be finicky, it can be tough. A lot of people maybe haven't ever used it before. And we have, what's going on, Alberto Flores, the best. But yeah, we want, I understand how difficult mocap can be, especially if you've never touched it, but we thankfully have tons of resources to teach you how to use mocap, and it's really not that difficult. And in particular, we just released a really big new tutorial in Unreal Engine a couple weeks ago. So we'll go through where to find resources to learn how to do retargeting, but we'll also go through the processes themselves. And so it should be a lot of fun. And, let's get right to it. We're not really going to jump in a motion capture suit because, a lot of the participants, I got to turn this down more. Sorry. This audio is too loud in my ears. Okay, let me know if it's too loud for you guys. It was too loud for me. A lot of our participants, they don't have mocap suits, right? The whole goal of participating in a challenge, especially like a challenge for a motion capture company, is that you want to get your hands on a mocap suit, right? You want some of them prizes. So we've tried to really make it, you need to use Rokoko tools, you need to use Rokoko mocap in some way. We have a free AI motion capture tool that you could use, but we also have a bunch of free assets that we've provided that you can use if you want. We have a motion library that has free assets and has assets to purchase that you could use if you want. So there's a lot of different options for getting your hands on motion capture data that will allow you to participate in the contest. What's going on, Origin? Good to see you. All these nice faces. Hey, I got a question for later in case I have to bounce. Rokoko Vision dual camera good for seated motions? Yeah, it's pretty good. I think that, any AI motion capture system can have problems with occlusion. I think the thing about being seated is like if you're seated sideways in a chair that is blocking your legs, like it can only work with the data it has. That being said, though, the great thing about the dual camera solution is that you can position webcams so that, or iPhone, whatever it is, however you set it up, so that you can catch actually occlusion issues. So yeah, it can. I've done a bunch of seated motions and you can absolutely do that. So yeah, it is a good option. And there's a free trial if you want to give the dual camera solution a try. Okay. But let's start at the beginning. We're going to go through where you can, what is the contest and everything. So if you go to Rokoko.com, straight up Rokoko.com, there'll be a banner at the top. We also had a, let's go and let's go to Rokoko. This is us right now. We're live right now. But if you go to videos, yeah. So we have this launch video that we released. So you can find information here. This is a spot that you can find some info if you want. But if you go to Rokoko.com, and that's what it's going to kind of direct you to do down in the description, we have this banner, and then you can click on this, or you can go to community, and we have this banner, Rokoko TV, which is the name of the challenge. Up here at the top, you can see the time frame. So it started 2 days ago, and you have all the way until January 29th. So yeah, you have a lot of time, 52 days left, which is a ton. Most of these challenges are 30. We wanted to give more time, also because of the holidays, but also because there's a breakdown submission that you can enter as well. There's this breakdown category. If you want to enter a breakdown, you could also maybe win in that category. Yeah, Origin, I know. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to see what people come up with. But the idea for this challenge is that everyone has to create 7 seconds of animation at 24 frames, which I believe is 168 frames of animation. And, the idea is that we're going to have a montage where the channel changes and it goes to the next animation, right? So what's cool about this is that, if you've seen Rick and Morty, it's kind of based off of like intergalactic cable, right? Which is when there were whole episodes that are just them flipping through random stuff that they find on intergalactic cable. So you could really do anything. Like you could, and a lot of these challenges, which I love, I like it when there are constraints. Constraints can be good, but also it's fun that in this one, you can really do kind of whatever you want. You could do a scene from a movie that's like on TV, right? You could do a commercial. You could do a home shopping network. You could do reality TV. You could do a documentary. You could do a game show. You could do you could do a lot of different things, right? You could just do architectural digest. Like you can kind of do anything. That being said, do anything. I think it is important, you can register here, and if you register, you're going to have to register in order to participate, but if you do register now, it's also going to, we're going to send you updates and stuff, and when we release the full prize pool, exactly what it is, you'll get that. So I encourage you to register. It's also a good reminder, maybe. But yeah, if we look at the categories, we're going to have a best render category. And so this is what I'm saying in terms of you can do anything. Yes, you can do anything. At the same time, I think, and I'm not really going to be a judge. I'm going to be a moderator. We'll talk about our awesome judges. Look at these judges. Look at this. Clint and Ian and Tim Fox, who's amazing animation director at freaking Mill. But I think there's going to be a lot of good entries. And the things that most likely win in best render, which is going to have the highest level of prize, is top tier renders where character animation shines within a TV theme. So all of this needs to include Rokoko motion capture, right? It needs to include Rokoko motion capture. So a character being animated is at the forefront, right? It can't just be like an animated robot that you find on Sketchfab that has its own animations and that's the main character. No. The focus needs to be on Rokoko motion capture. Yeah, you'll get an email after registering. You should, I believe, Sasha. But if you're within the TV theme, I think that you'll have a better chance of winning, right? If there are 2 renders and one is just a crazy scene that's ostensibly from a movie, but really it could be anything and it's kind of random, that's cool. And then there's an amazing render that's a Survivor spinoff, or a cooking show spinoff, or a commercial that. I think it's not, a random render might win, but my guess is we're gonna have a lot of amazing submissions, and the ones that stand out are gonna kind of have something to do with TV channel flipping in some way, even if it's a meta commentary on that. But I think you want to play within the sandbox of the theme, which is TV channel flipping. So it can be anything. And I think you could say any animation you make of anything could be a part of a movie. Yes. And if it's a really incredible render, it might win. But I think the constraint that you want to try and work with is TV, classic TV channel kind of thing. So that's going to be that's going to kind of be the main category. We're going to have 5 winners in that category, and we'll go through the prizes in a second. And the second category is going to be best breakdown. So you can enter for both of these categories. And that category is going to be, you have longer, so 7 seconds in the main for the main entry for the render. For your breakdown, I believe you have up to, it should be up to 20 seconds in the breakdown. So between 7 and 20 seconds, because we want to see like you doing the mocap if you have a suit, or if you're using mocap AI, or like we want to see how you use, the process. I think that's always really fun. And we wanted to also encourage people, like, I think besides the main render category, which is the intimidating one, kind of, it's like the one where you're going to be going up against like other incredible artists, which is good. You should try to do that. But also, like, if you're me, I'm like, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to win. If you have a really funny like breakdown that's like really personal, or I don't know, you could get really creative with the breakdown. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have like two 4090s to be able to render 4K like images. It kind of is, it opens it up to, I think, more people. And that's not to say that a beginner can't win best render if they have a really amazing idea and really great execution. But I do think that like best breakdown is maybe an opportunity for someone who's more it doesn't have the hardware, for instance, to like be able to spit out crazy grain simulations or whatever. So that's gonna be a really fun one, and so there's gonna be 3 winners in that. Then we're going to have 3 winners in community favorites, which like that is wide open. And there's going to be awesome prizes in all of these categories, like big, like mocap suit prizes in all of these categories. Which I really love, because community favorites, like that's just purely like, do you have a good idea? Is it funny? Like usually that's what that category wins. We had a contest where I think like a Spooderman animation won, and which is like a play on Spider-Man, and like it wasn't the most technically incredible thing, but like people loved it because it was such a funny idea, and it had so much heart, right? So community favorites, I think, is going to be a chance for people to win more on the idea basis, maybe like wackier ideas. And again, somebody who is more of a beginner, I think, can totally win in that category. You never interested. Okay, we'll be sent, but we do have your email for registering. Yeah, so you might not get an email right afterwards. I'll check on that. I would have imagined that you'd get a like a welcome, thanks for registering email to confirm it. But you should we should have it. We'll send out maybe one. Maybe we're gonna try not to spam people. Okay, Anand, does there have to be a character in the front of the TV watching? No. It's the TV screen. It's what's on the TV. So it's not a character. I mean, you could have, that would be like a meta animation, right? It's like you're watching a show about someone watching a show. Like maybe that's an idea, but no, it's you got an email. Interesting, Weston. I'll check that. I don't run the back end stuff, but I'll raise that concern. Thankfully, again, we have so much time, and you're going to be able to, yeah. We'll see if that's like a problem. We'll get that sorted. But yeah, no, it's what's on the TV. It's not like a character watching a TV. That would be like an idea that is interesting, but it's like a cooking show or whatever, right? It's like a home shopping network. It's what's on the TV. So the third prize category, community favorites, 3 winners in there, big prizes in there too. And then finally, we just have a straight up raffle. If you submit, good job for submitting, for putting yourself out there, for doing some hard work, for taking the time. It's not easy. We want to reward people just for having fun. And so automatically, no one who wins in the other categories will be able to win in the bonus raffle, but the bonus raffle is just like, it'll be a suit going to a random person who submitted. which I think is really cool too. Because again, it rewards people just for participating, which is the goal with all these contests. From our perspective, it's like we want people to be making mocap and getting to know our tools and seeing Rokoko, blah blah blah. But the fun thing is getting the opportunity to put tools and give away prizes to people who like can't afford it, or like it doesn't make sense for them right now. Like, that's the exciting thing. And so I love the bonus raffle. It's just like someone, hopefully, I would hope that it's like a super beginner. Like, my ideal bonus raffle winner is like, a struggling artist who doesn't have the money for a mocap suit, where it's like really going to change their whole life and workflow potentially. Like, that's who I hope wins, but it could be anyone. And so I'm pumped about this bonus raffle, just straight up. If you submit, no matter what it is, I think maybe if it's like someone submits and it's like no effort was put in, like clearly no effort, not like it's bad. People can put in a lot of effort and it can be not super impressive, but like if you just grab a Rokoko asset and like have a blank scene and you're like, I submitted, like, you're not going to win, right? It's going to be, you have to try, you have to submit for real. And yeah, so those are going to be the community. Those are the categories for the contest. Okay, if we keep going down, you can see that we have submission requirements here. I checked these out. It's always good to know what the deal is, right? Yeah, 7 to 20 seconds for the breakdown, 7 seconds at 24 frames for the main entry. Submissions, you can collaborate with 2 participants. It's up to the artist to divide the prizes. It's not like we give out 2 prizes, but a group can win and be credited, 2 people. You also do have to share your entry on Insta or LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever. You got to share it. You got to do the hashtag, right? It's part of the game. You got to include, you don't have to include sound design, but like my guess is the winners are going to have sound design. We don't use copyrighted audio. We won't be able to use it. That's the way it goes. But I would try to include sound design. And again, how much time is left? 52 days. Like, I don't think that's an impossible ask. You don't have to. Again, if you don't, maybe we'll underlay our own music over it or something. But sound design I think will help. So this is actually, we're going to remove this. This is incorrect. The entry has to be a clean render without any burn-ins or graphic overlays. Maybe we'll ask for the render clean, but I've already brought this up. This will be removed. The whole idea of this, like, many shows have overlays. Like, I want to see overlays. I think that's funny. Like, that sells the TV thing, right? If there's like a little thing that it says like a made-up TV channel bumper comes up from the bottom, and it's like funny and it has to do with whatever's happening. You have a robot game show and it's like, check out robot fashion show, it's coming up next. Like, that's clever. So that's not right. That will be gotten rid of. You can have graphic overlays. You do a home shopping network, which I'm sure we're going to see a lot of entries that are like home shopping network. Overlays are like a part of that. So that's not right. Yes, it does not matter, Red Attack. You don't have to have lots of followers. You just have to post it. And that is going to be like, if we're not going to be able to go through and check every entry that they have this. What it's going to happen is the winners that are selected, if we go to their account and it hasn't been posted, and you'll be asked to put the account social that you have, that where you'll be posting it when you submit your entry. If it's not there, then you'll just be disqualified. So it doesn't matter how many followers you have. It just matters that you post it and you add to the hashtag count, right? That's kind of the algorithm game that all companies play. And you have until January 29th. So technical requirements, it's going to be a 4:3 ratio, which is interesting. It's a different kind of ratio. It's not 16:9 and it's not the social portrait. It's kind of more of a classic 90s TV ratio, 4:3. So 1920 by 1440. It's wider than it is tall, but it's still not square. So, you don't have to render out in this ratio. you could render out 19 by 20 and then go into After Effects or Premiere or DaVinci and put it in a sequence that's 1920 by 1440, right? Same thing with frame rate. If you want to render your animation out at 60 frames, whatever, that's fine. But the final needs to be, like, you can take that and you can put it in a 24 frame timeline, and as long as what you finally submit is in 24 frames and is 168 frames total, you'll be good, right? Yep, and then MOV or MP4, H2, that's typical stuff. And then the file naming, again, when you submit, we'll have all this information. And so we need your artist name so that we know how to credit who you are, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's go through another important thing. Mandatory use of Rokoko, mocap, or asset. You have to use Rokoko, mocap, or tool to enter, right? This is a Rokoko contest. This is we're a motion capture company. You can't use other motion capture devices or companies. You can't use an XN suit. You have to use a Rokoko tool or a Rokoko asset. And again, we understand that most people don't have access to a Rokoko suit, right? That's fine. There are so many other ways to participate and make super high quality things without a Rokoko suit. And today, we're going to be doing retargeting using all the free. I've already made 32 free assets. We're going to make more probably next week and the next week after, and all these live streams. And I'm going to show you where to find other Rokoko assets. You don't have to use a Rokoko tool, but you have to use Rokoko mocap in some way, right? So if you have a smart suit or smart gloves and you use them, great. If you want to use our free AI motion capture tool, Rokoko Vision. Let's open this up. This is completely free for single camera, unlimited motion capture. You just need a webcam. It's not the highest quality motion capture, but you could edit it to make it better. As long as the base mocap is with a Rokoko tool, you can edit this motion capture as much as you want. This is dual camera here, which you need to have a subscription for. Or there's a 14-day free trial. Sign up for the free trial to use dual camera if you want. Then you have probably a better chance of winning the breakdown category, probably, because you were seeing how the mocap was made by you. Although it's not necessary that the breakdown category winners use tools, hardware tools or software tools. They can use Rokoko motion capture and still win if it's an amazing breakdown. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty damn good, the dual camera tool. It cuts down on occlusion. You get all these awesome things. This is doing retargeting in Roco Studio. We have tutorials. Look at this. This is done using the single camera tool. Like, you can make something amazing with this, right? 4x3 is not awful. Come on. There's so many movies that are like in 4x3 now. It's like coming back. Project this house, clean render. No, you can use filters, color correction, all that. Again, that we're gonna get rid of that. That's wrong. Go back up. That's incorrect. You can use color correction. What this is referring to is generally in our other contests, we want just the render, and we don't like. You can't put a watermark on. For example, we don't want a watermark. But if you have an overlay that is a part of the story that you're telling, if it's a first-person Doom mocking render from the movie Doom, like where there was a HUD, and it's first person, it's like a Halo show, like that has a HUD on it. Those are typically burn-in graphic overlays. Those are okay. What we don't want is, like, you can't have a watermark with your social on it. Like, no, you can't do that. But you can have lower thirds and things like that. So right, mandatory use of Rokoko, mocap tool, or asset. If you go to this category, look, we have a free resources page. Go to the free resources page. There's tons of mocap that I've made in the past. Zombie mocap, superhero mocap, dance floor mocap, idols, walking, running, physical. And then you have the animation challenge mocap that's also in this link is linked to this is in the description of this video. If you go down to the description right now, you'll get this link. Oh, and it takes you to the free resources page. Download the free mocap. You got to register. Blah blah blah. Okay. But yeah, you get this, and this is all the mocap we're going to be using today as we jump into the software. So, lots of places to find. You can use that free mocap. You can also, if you go to Roco Studio, which anyone can download for free. Roco Studio is our mocap software. You can download it for free from Rokoko.com. You just need to have a Rokoko ID, which is just your email. It's free again. You go to the motion library. We have a whole motion. You can use any mocap from the motion library. It's going to be weird about loading. So a lot of these you can pay for them. And there's some like really, really good high quality assets in here. This is $6. So this is pricey. Like that's an investment. So I'm not saying you have to go buy it, but this is like high quality motion capture. But also, if you go to the motion library and you just go to view all and you go to free, we have free assets on here. You could use this. If your character is using this, you have to have 7 seconds. So you got to loop this or something. It's not perfectly looped, which is a little frustrating. But like, you could use this. Like any of these free assets. I love More Emotion. Some of these are like incredible assets. More Emotion dancing. It starts in this T-pose, but like, look at this. Like, this is free. You can use check. Back? Can you hear me? Weird. Yo. Like my system, like audio codec got like overwhelmed. Very bizarre. Sorry everyone, I have no idea. Where did it cut off? Check. Oh, I just turned it off. So stupid. Hold on. What was I talking about? What was I rambling on about? Okay, yeah, so I'm just talking about how good these are. Yeah, so you can use these. You can use these. Thank you all for for letting me know. I'm gonna switch so I can see these YouTube comments better. Okay. I know, but the red beanie, I'm using a green screen now for the first time, and the spill on my red beanie is like ruining things. Look at the spill, it's all messed up. Okay. Nice, UQ getting it. Okay, the red attack, can you please explain to me what the difference is between best render category and the second one? Does my 7-second renders in both categories? So yeah, it's a new video. Now I'm so freaking paranoid about my audio. But yeah, it is another video that is between 7 and 20 seconds. And it's just a breakdown video. So, you know, if you search process or breakdown videos on YouTube, process video Punisher challenge. These things are really common. You see these all the time. So this is like a long one. This is just a straight up time lapse. But you know, it's a process video. It shows your process. It means that maybe you do some recordings while you're going through your process, and it shows us how you did everything. Still getting the hang of a green screen. It's new to me. Okay, let's keep moving here. So yeah, I was talking about how you have to use Rokoko mocap and where you can find it. And so free resources page, and also all the other, and what? Oh, it's just the song ended. Okay, I'm all turned around. Okay, we got to get to it. I've been talking for 30 minutes. I want to get into some of these softwares. The judges, you know, yeah, what they're going to judge on: visual appeal, original theme interpretation, use of motion capture. Those are the most important things, right? Oh, it doesn't matter, Red Attack. Like, you can, what I like to do for my process videos is, it's hard to record time lapses. Like, show your scene and then like click everything off or make everything invisible, and then like make the base landscape visible, then make the trees visible, then make the atmosphere visible. Like, you can build and show process that way. Get into the scene and show details. Like, there's so many good things that that works. Band Lab. I tried importing one of the free animations into Unreal, but it wouldn't work with any of the UE skeletons. If it's one of the older things, a lot of them don't have Unreal exports, because we did not have the Unreal export option when I made these. From they're a little bit, yeah, Mixamo skeleton, this one for instance. You can still use them, but you have to use the IK retargeting system in Unreal. And we, again, released a great masterclass that covers how to do all of that. It's on our YouTube channel. Go check it out. It teaches you everything that you need to know. And look at this guy with his beard. And so you can use it for. We're gonna go through. Yeah, and if it's from the motion library, you will have to use the IK system. You can't just. It won't work as well as the free assets that I made so far for the animation challenge. For these, there's Unreal specific. There's a Mixamo version, there's a Human IK version, and then there's an Unreal Engine version, and it works very easily. And next week we'll be making more, and we'll have the Unreal Engine skeleton exports for that. But yeah, there's ways to use mocap even if it doesn't have an Unreal skeleton. Some of them might not have meshes, so you might not even be able to import them to Unreal, which means you'd have to like go into Blender and retarget them then onto a mesh and then bring them into Unreal. Some of them are not going to be perfect, but there are ways to work with any of the mocap that you find. Okay, what else? Is there anything else I want to... Yeah, prize categories, blah, 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 sharing on social medias, asking us questions. Yep, we have the live stream. Come to the live stream and ask questions because I'm here answering them. Let's talk about them prizes. So, of course, we're going to be giving out full performance capture sets. That's smart suits, that's smart gloves, that's our new head rig that holds an iPhone for facial motion capture, and plus subscription, so you can do live streaming and things like that. So from the Rokoko side, we're going to be giving out a bunch of our gear, obviously, and first place for all the categories are going to be full performance capture sets, I believe, and then even second place is going to have some of our gear, and then including coil. God, we're giving away coils too. Jeez Louisa, that's probably the first place winner of the main render category. We get a coil. If you have a full performance capture setup with the coil is probably worth about, what is it? It's $3,500 for suit and gloves, I think. Coil's $2K. That's $5,500 there. Yeah, it's like $6,000. So a lot of Rokoko gear is going to be given out. And again, it's not only for first place winners. Second place and third place are going to be winning Rokoko gear too. Alberto Paredes, sorry if I'm butchering that. Facial motion capture is not free to use with Rokoko Vision. Rokoko Vision does not support facial motion capture. So there's no facial motion capture from Rokoko Vision. There's other ways. We have facial motion capture that you can download that's in the free assets on the free resources page. You can use Unreal's facial mocap system to combine it. But yeah, there's no facial mocap for Rokoko Vision so far, which is a bummer. But we'll get there eventually. But also, we have amazing sponsors as well. We got Kit Bash on board. There's going to be, kits and Cargo Pro. We got some incredible Steel Series gear. We got some incredible Elgato gear, Stream Decks. We got some reallusion subscriptions, like for iClone and for Character Creator. And we have a couple others that we haven't announced yet. So the prize pool is like stacked this time, which is so awesome. So we haven't released the exact prizes yet. We should be, I think, this week. I think it's just because we wanted to lock down some final people, companies before we put it out, so we didn't have to backtrack. And then, yeah, for the judging, so our judges, which is going to be Clinton Jones, the Punisher himself. Come on. As I say, icon in our community. Just what a sweet boy. What a fantastic person. He's going to be one of our judges. We got Ian Hubert coming back again. Just hilarious Blender guru and just amazing guy. Nice person. You might know him from his lazy tutorials and other work that he's done on like serious films like Prospect, I believe it's called. Just such a nice guy, and he's so funny. It'll be great to have him on. Tim Fox, he's less known in the community of indies, but incredible animator. Tim Fox Colts loves you. You can check out his work. He works for The Mill. He just made an incredible animation for Mercedes. So it's kind of cool to have someone from more the professional studio world who's going to be on board as well. So that's going to be really good. And then I'll be there. I'm not actually going to be judging. I'm not going to be lending. I'm going to be trying to stay neutral and just trying to keep things on track. So those three are going to be the deciders. I I'm not going to be the decider because then it gets too messy, in my opinion, and it's easier for me just to host. So I'll be hosting them. Then we will be judging best breakdown. So I will kind of be judging that, and we'll put out a separate video with some of our Rokokians who will be doing that. Community favorites, we're going to have a method of selecting this that will probably be a mix of Discord, Instagram polls, things like that. So we're going to make sure that we find the best way that can't be like cheated for community favorites, as best we can. And then the raffle is just going to be a straight up raffle. Okay. Yes, I know. Clint is the reason that so many of us have made it this far at all. Okay, so let's get into it now. Let's actually make some freaking motion capture. Let's do some retargeting. So today we're going to be doing Blender, Unreal, Cinema 4D, Maya, and reallusion. Chat, which one should I start with? What am I starting with? We're going to be using the free mocap assets that I have provided, which is after you go through and you register to download the free mocap, you'll just be taken to this G drive here. I'm separating all these by category, and then in all of these categories, we have each of the mocap on the different skeletons, all at 24 frames. Oh, Unreal, is that what you guys want to see? Shocker. Well, that's fine with me because I love Unreal too. And we, again, just put out, for all of these softwares, we have, and let's go to, where's the retargeting playlist? So we have this ultimate retargeting workflows playlist. I've gone through and made tutorials for every single software. This will really explain how to use motion capture, how to edit motion capture in most of them. I'm going to be going quick in the live stream today just to show you the process. I'm not going to be explaining every single detail. These are 20 to 30 minute tutorials that cover the processes. This is where you want to go to learn how to use Rokoko mocap. So we're going to start with Unreal. Then Alberto, you said Maya, so we're going to Maya next. Then we'll probably do Blender. Then we'll probably do Cinema. No, then we'll do reallusion, and we'll end with Cinema. You know what? We'll do reallusion after Blender because there's a lot of reallusion people out there. Okay, let's do it. Let's go. Again, so I'm going to close down Roco Studio. Let's open up Unreal. Let's launch a new project. Now we're getting into it. Now we're getting going. I'm going to show you how this works. And there's so many different ways to do retargeting depending on what the situation is, what your character is. I'm going to use a character. And we're going to go and save this to our Rokoko stream here. And Unreal retarget demo. I'm going to turn on ray tracing. I'm going to do a blank project. Let's create it. Linus, what's going on? Came in 30 minutes late. Sorry if you mentioned this before. Should we submit 2 videos? The first being for the competition, and the second being for the motion capture take? No. So you can just submit your one video. We will have we'll have some sort of. You might have to submit a screenshot of your project, or something. Just so we can tell that people aren't cheating. We don't want people to rip from other projects. So you'll probably have to take a screenshot of your scene in your program, just of the Unreal screen, right? And then we'll also have a short little place where you'll have to enter in a small description of where you got your mocap. So I made my mocap with my Rokoko Vision, or I used the free mocap from the resources page. It was the samurai mocap, and you'll just put the name, right? So you'll have to just describe where you got it from, and anyone who actually wins, we will also be asking for further verification from that person to ensure that people aren't ripping. There have been some people who have done bad things in the past and cheated and we want to prevent that from happening. I'm gonna make myself a little bit tinier. I love this green screen. Look, it's so like cool. Okay, so I've got my blank Unreal project. We cover all of this in our tutorials. Go check them out. But the first thing we do when we're gonna be working with Rokoko mocap in Unreal, we need to go and add the third person starter pack. So I go to add feature content pack, add the third person pack. The reason we do this is going to give us access to the Unreal mannequin, the Unreal 4 and the Unreal 5 mannequins. So we go into characters. Look, we got the Unreal 4 mannequin and we got the Unreal 5 mannequin. The next thing I'm going to do is, if you go to our Unreal Engine Rokoko retargeting workflow video masterclass, in here, and I recommend going through this, we have this free resources pack that you should download. You download the .zip, most importantly because a certain somebody named Alberto Flores, who's in the chat right now, created an unbelievably useful control rig asset that he very generously distributed himself for free and gave us, allowed us to distribute for free. He even made this PDF. What a freaking amazing person Alberto is. He did this all for free, teaches you how to use this control rig. This control rig is incredible. So the second thing I do after I import the third person pack, I go and I download that Rokoko resources thing, .zip, Rokoko resources. Then I'm gonna go into my Unreal project folder, go into content, drop in my Rokoko resources folder. Whatever, Alberto's trying to be humble, but it's incredible what he did. As soon as I drop in that folder, you can see we've got it. As long as I add my third person character pack before my Rokoko resources pack, this mannequin control rig setup will work. If you add the Rokoko resources pack first and then add the mannequin, this control rig, it depends on having the mannequin in your project. So it might not like open if you don't have the mannequin in your project. That's fine. Download the mannequin, then come back and reopen this and it will work. You can see it's a control rig. It's incredible. We're going to use, yeah, he's being very humble again, but it is unbelievable what this control rig is. And it was adapted in a very specific way to allow you to use it on Unreal 4 characters. So the control rig that's provided by Epic, it works on the mannequin, but it won't work on your characters because the characters are different proportions and blah, blah, blah. All these things I don't really frankly understand. He adapted it so that you can use it on Unreal 4 characters. So the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go grab a character. In my case, I have a bunch of characters I've gotten from the Unreal Marketplace, and they're specifically usually characters that you find on the Unreal Marketplace. They are already rigged with compatibility with the Unreal 4 mannequin. If I'm going fast, I apologize. Go watch our retargeting tutorials where I go a lot slower and explain all this stuff in more detail. But most of these characters that I have, and as you can see, I'm a little obsessive. I've gotten way too many of them. But a lot of characters that you find will work automatically with the Unreal 4 mannequin, which is going to make it really easy to do retargeting. So I'm going to add this Samurai Ichiro. We're going to go to Unreal Retarget Demo. I'm going to add this into my scene. Here we go. I've got Unreal. I've got my character here. Looks dope. And we're going to be able, look, it's got physics integrated. The nice thing about getting characters in the marketplace is a lot of them already have taken care of some of the harder things, like having cloth dynamics, having physics, having all the materials work automatically. If you buy a character or find a character for free on Sketchfab or CG Trader or TurboSquid, and it says it will work in Unreal, it usually will. You just might have to go through some more work to import it and get it all set up. So that's why I like, if you can, it's nice to use characters from the Unreal Marketplace or that you've made yourself that are already working with the Unreal 4 mannequin or Unreal 5 mannequin. Okay, so we've got our character, we've got our mannequin, we've got our Rokoko resources. I'm gonna create a folder and we're gonna go and add some mocap. So I got a mocap folder. And at this point, again, for this stream, we're using mocap that you can find for free. You go to rokoko.com, you go to free resources, you go in the description down below of this video, it'll take you there. And look, I got combat. I'm gonna go to Unreal Engine and we got a samurai animation. Basic stuff. I'm gonna download this. Let's download it. Then I'm going to go to add, import, not feature. We're gonna go to add, import to game. Go to my downloads, samurai. Okay, and this is the FBX that I just downloaded that you can download as well. Or this is the same process for any of those animations in that free resources pack that I put out. So now what makes this really easy is I'm gonna uncheck import mesh and I'm gonna go under skeleton and I'm gonna select SK mannequin skeleton. So this is the Unreal 4 mannequin skeleton, not the Unreal 5, the Unreal 4 mannequin skeleton. Add it. We want to import animations, of course, import all. And that's why it was so important to add the Unreal 4 mannequin before we got started, is because if we do that, it makes it super easy to download our Rokoko, to import our Rokoko mocap and just have it be working. So not only has this been imported, and you can batch import mocap the same way, right? Not only has this been imported, but it's on the Unreal 4 mannequin. And because the Unreal 4 mannequin is by default compatible with a lot of characters made in Unreal, if we open up this character and we go to their skeleton, I'll close this. You can see the skeleton is a different mesh, but this is the skeleton tab of that mesh that we want to use. We go to Window, Asset Details, Compatible Skeletons. So by default, Unreal doesn't know that this Unreal character is compatible with the UE4 mannequin, but most characters on the Unreal Marketplace, or say they're Unreal mannequin compatible or game ready, they do work with the Unreal 4 mannequin. I can add an element, select the Unreal 4 mannequin, save this, and now my character is gonna be able to take any animation that is on the Unreal 4 mannequin. So let's see. Let's go grab our character. I'm gonna use the full dude. Let's rotate him. Let's give him some sun. Oh man, okay, we're not gonna get bogged down in like Unreal because I wanna go through all the software, but now I just wanna add an ultra dynamic sky and let's just add ultra dynamic sky really quick. I just found ultra dynamic sky and how amazing it is. I hadn't been using it, now I'm using it for everything. Add to project, it's so incredible for like $24. Oh, project this house. That's true, we should change that, that's hilarious. Come on, we gotta have it be snowing. Oh no, I hate autosave. I gotta figure out how to make that a lot less. We gotta add some snow. Hey, why is it raining? Oh, ultra dynamic weather. Okay, this is looking cooler already. Oh, golly, I can love it. Let's just add a light. Oh, I love Unreal so much coming from cinema. I still love cinema, but oh my gosh, Unreal has been an awakening for me. Okay, so we got our character in our scene. We made sure that it was compatible, right? I'm gonna add a level sequence. We're gonna just call this samurai. We're gonna add our samurai to our scene. We're gonna go to animation. Samurai shows up immediately, again, because we made sure that Unreal was compatible. Look at this. Add the animation. That's it. It's working. Now, I'm gonna go through one more thing. Yeah. Now let's say we had a sword and we needed to do some editing. The amazing thing about the Alberto control rig is, again, if we go up to right click on our character, bake to control rig, mannequin control rig auto setup, which is the control rig that we imported from the Rokoko resources folder. Create, it's gonna bake this animation down within the in and out point of our timeline to a control rig. And what is so amazing about this control rig is that it is an IK control rig, which means we can, which means, did I forget how to do this already? We can grab the wrist and we don't have to, so with and where this is gonna get into the other programs as well, when you're doing mocap editing, what you want is an IK control rig. Usually, for some things you want an FK control rig. IK means inverse kinematic. That means that basically your editing chain is going from the end bone, for an example, the wrist, and then all the bones up the chain are following where the wrist goes. So I can drag the wrist and the rest, you can see the rest of the arm follows it. And that makes it really easy to do editing, because usually when you're doing editing, it is for the hands and it's moving the wrists, because that's when you start getting intersection and things that you need to fix. For example, right here, this arm is intersecting into the body. So we would need to fix that. Moreover, when we grab the sword, inevitably, you would need to edit where this hand is to be able to grab the sword. It's just kind of the way that it works. You're always gonna need to do editing when you have digital interaction, because inevitably, even if your motion capture was perfect, and Rokoko mocap isn't perfect oftentimes, but even if it were, the character proportions that you're using are gonna be different from the mocap avatar proportions, which means you're gonna need to do editing when it comes to doing clapping, touching your face, delicate things. So if we wanted to, just for this example, change where this hand was, you can see that if we select this hand, we already have baked down keyframes on this hand. So if I make a change, let me put it over there. Nothing's gonna happen because there's keyframes on this null. So what we need to do, and if we did want to keyframe this, we would have to do it for every single frame, which is a waste of our time. Now instead, what we can do is on mannequin control rig auto setup, go to plus, add an additive layer. And now we have an additive layer that has no keyframes on this left-hand control. So if I want to move this, it is going to be persistently changed. Now that's obviously too dramatic, but oftentimes if we want to fix this, we would do that, right? Maybe I would, another thing that I freaking hate about Unreal, I always go and enable the arc ball setting so that I can free rotate. I don't have to like be on the axes. But right, we would need to edit maybe the location of this hand and how it is. Maybe it needs to go like that, right? Now this looks freaking perfect. And we would put a sword in there and a whole thing. We need to edit where the right hand grabs the end of the sword. Well, we would create a keyframe right here maybe. And then we would do an edit. So it's gonna grab the sword. Add a keyframe here. So we've keyframed a change now. And then add a keyframe here. And then what I like to do is you have this original keyframe, which is basically how the mocap originally was, right? I can copy this, paste it, and now the mocap has gone back to its original state, which is what we want. And we have this sick animation. So it's very easy to do stuff like this. Now, you follow the tutorial that we have online. I can also, the other amazing thing about this particular control rig, which Alberto added, is you have these slaving abilities where I can, like if you are holding an assault rifle, what you want to do is you want to slave the left hand to the right hand so that it follows where the right, or if you have a two-handed sword, you would want to slave your main hand, if you're a righty, is where you're controlling the sword, and you want to slave the left hand to the location for the right so that it follows. And again, in the tutorial, we go through how to do this slaving as well. And this is amazing. Look at this. Hand is perfectly locked on. And so we go through this process in this tutorial. Now, we also have a whole separate tutorial that is focused only on metahumans. So we go back to the Ultimate Retargeting Workflows playlist. We have another very long tutorial on how to do all of this with metahumans, how to do IK editing with metahumans, how to do it all. So you can use it for metahumans as well. So that is the process for Unreal. In only a couple minutes, we made this sick animation. And, you know, and you can edit it. And also what I love is if you ever want to make sure that physics are checked on, for right now physics are not working. If we check on simulate physics, then check it off, they'll continue working, but the character won't ragdoll when you use sequencer. But now look at this. We got physics. This was built into the character. So many characters on Unreal have this. Physics adds so much. So really cool. That is the workflow for Unreal Engine. Let's move on. Let's get into Blender. Okay. Close it down. Let's open up Blender. So we have also tutorials on Blender. Go check it out. Again, I'm gonna be speeding through this a little bit. But I'm gonna show you how this works in its basic form. So for Blender, and I'm not a Blender genius by any means. I struggle with Blender a lot because it's amazing, but it's also very different from a lot of the other tools. But in Blender, check out our tutorial again, but we have a Rokoko retargeting plugin. And let me actually, where is it? Here it is. So I did a live stream a couple weeks back, and I have yet to add some of the new workflow aspects to our standard retargeting tutorial that's shorter. This is an 1.5 hour live stream. But in this live stream, I go over a way of adding control rigs to any skeletoned character. You have to use Auto Rig Pro, which is a paid plugin on the Blender Marketplace. But it gives you the ability to create IK control rigs where you can edit your motion capture. Maybe you don't need to edit motion capture. It's not necessary. If I have a character dancing, and we'll do a dancing character in Blender right now that doesn't really require mocap editing, But if you do need to do two-handed weapon, if you do need to touch your face or you're crying or something, like that will require editing. I go over how to add a control rig to even non-standard characters in this live stream. I'll add this to the description below. And we're also going to be putting out a 10-minute video that goes through where to find all this information to help people who want to participate in the contest. But if you're a Blender user, check this out. Of course, we also have our Blender retargeting workflow that goes through everything, kind of using a Mixamo characters as the baseline. It goes through how to do forward kinematic mocap cleanup, which you can do on any character without using a control rig if you want, which can be really helpful. It also goes through an IK Mixamo control rig workflow for Mixamo characters. In this case, let's use a Mixamo character. We're gonna go to Mixamo. Excuse me. I don't like this buzzing on my... Ugh. I gotta figure out... I don't have a controlled light environment in this office yet. I can't show you my login info. Silly billies. Oh. Adobe, you need to have me send a code to my phone. And then enter my password. Okay. So we got Mixamo. Let's choose a character from Mixamo. Oh, you can see I had my Ninja Turtle I was working on. Hell, let's use this guy. So you can use the auto rigger on Mixamo. Then what you want to do is you want to download a character. You could select any of these characters that they have for free. These are all free characters. You just need to sign up with an Adobe ID, I think, and Mixamo is free. I don't even think you need a subscription. You could use any of these guys. Or you could import your own mesh and have Mixamo auto rig it. However, then you want to download the character in a T-pose, which we're gonna do. Download. And now we're gonna go and for this Blender workflow, let's do... Should we do some cooking? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cooking show. I'm going to use the Mixamo skeleton for Blender. I find it works the best, the easiest to use. So I'm going to download the Mixamo skeleton version. Again, we have Unreal, we have Human IK, depending on what you're doing. Creator Bower, you can go to Rokoko.com, go to Community, Rokoko TV, or if you just go to Rokoko, there's a banner at the top, but it's under Community. There's a link down in the description below, and we have submission requirements, all that stuff. We went through it at the beginning of the live stream, and still got 52 days, so a lot of time. But yeah, so we got our T-Pose 8, which I'm going to... Oop. T-Pose 8. Call this Leonardo TMNT. Rigged character. So let's hop back into Blender. We are going to import our character, which is a Mixamo rigged character in this case. Doesn't have to be in Blender. Again, you can use character creator characters. You can use lots of different things. But in this case, it's a Mixamo character. I find that because I don't understand Blender that well, it's easier for me. When you are importing FBXs that are character FBXs, whether it's mocap or whether it's characters, you want to check automatic bone orientation. Let's click import. Look at what we got. We got a Ninja Turtle. Cutie. Delete this editor. Delete this I'll just leave that. Don't know what that's doing. So let's go and import our motion capture that we just downloaded. Import FBX. Downloads. Demodify. Chef cooking. Make sure that automatic bone orientation is checked. And we got our motion capture in. And we're going to make this 960 frames long. So if we hit play, we got some dope cooking animation. So what's really important for retargeting generally is that unlike the Unreal situation where it like automatically loads into an Unreal 4 mannequin, if you were to use the IK retargeting system in Unreal, it would also be true for that system. Generally in retargeting, you need the starting pose for your motion capture and your character to be the same initial pose. So that's going to be a T pose for Rokoko, generally. All of Rokoko animation, comes out. The red attack, my biggest problem is how to make my renders look good and cinematic in a 4:3 ratio. Yeah, I don't know. You just gotta get weird with it. Watch the Zack Snyder cut, I guess, of the Justice League. But yeah, we've got both our mocap and our character in a T-pose. That's pretty important. So now I'm gonna go to the Rokoko plugin, retargeting right here. And actually first I'm gonna go and check to see if my character is actually in a T-pose. If we go to edit mode, you can see, okay, nothing changes. That's good. Sometimes the rest pose of your character is like an A pose. If you were to upload a mesh into Mixamo that was a character in an A pose, its rest pose will still be an A pose. And I cover this again in the Blender tutorial on our YouTube channel. But in our case, our character is actually in a T pose, which means we're ready to retarget. So if we go to the retargeting panel, source is gonna be our Mixamo reference. Target is going to be our armature, which is our character skeleton. I can drag these in if I want to. And I'm gonna hit build bone list. Now, because these are pretty standard, no, because it's the 16:9 would be good, but so much of our world now is social, which is portrait. Like the 16:9 allows you to, or the 4:3 means that it doesn't have to be like portrait mode, but it also usually can be adapted to portrait mode, which is how we show off a lot of these things. And so it's like the middle ground between them. I feel you though, Red Attack. You should do put it on your YouTube as 16:9 or 21:9, right? Or something. But yeah, no, I like the 4. It's interesting, the 4:3. It's cool. Okay, but we hit build bone list, and this happened automatically because we're using a Mixamo character. We're using a Mixamo skeleton for the mocap. So the Rokoko plugin already pretty much knows which bones are which. Now, if you're using a custom character and you've got wonky skeleton naming, then you might have to go in manually and match these up, because you basically, for retargeting in any software, you need to tell the computer which bone is which, so it knows how to copy the mocap animation to your character. It doesn't inherently know where the mocap animation joint animation should go on your character. You need to tell it. Yeah, auto reframe. That's a good idea, Red Attack, actually. So in our case, it did it automatically. You might have to go in and do it manually. But this looks great. Hit retarget animation. It'll think. Done. Let's delete our Rokoko animation, and we are left with a Ninja Turtle cooking. I forgot I need to disable the spine bones on the Ninja Turtle because it gets all wonky. Chopping. This would be like a great idea for the contest, right? It's like a cooking show with like, instead of Gordon Ramsay though, it's like Master Splinter and Shredder are the judges. I don't know. Hilarious. So in my tutorial, I go over how to do editing. If we just wanted to fix these thumbs though, let's say, what we could do is, oh God, how do you do this again? Okay, we go to the nonlinear animation editor. We would add a new layer. We would make sure that the blending mode is add. I don't know. Oh, combine rather, not add. I think it's combine. Yeah. And then we can go in and we could, oh, I forget, how do you do the X-ray thing on top? Let's go into pose mode. We would go find the right hand thumb. And we would add a keyframe. Fixed. Let's do it for the other one. I used S to add a keyframe. I'm not using Blender hotkeys. I'm using industry standard hotkeys. There we go. Look, fixed. Go back to the timeline. And you can do more FK editing using that method. Again, I go over it in the Blender tutorial. But I also go over how to use an IK control rig using Auto Rig Pro, or if you're using a Mixamo character, using the Mixamo free control rig add-on in Blender. So there we go, that's Blender. I want to go get a pan. Chop, 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 chop. Chop, 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 chop. Look at those knife skills. Look at Leonardo. So this is all just, again, the free motion capture that we have. And you can find out more information about how to do all the retargeting in our tutorials on YouTube. But this, I think, would be a great little submission idea for the new animation challenge. And this is just a Mixamo character. I love this model. It looks so good. Okay, let's jump into the next one, which is going to be reallusion. And same thing, we have reallusion tutorials on our YouTube. Oh golly, Kansas, it's not installed. We might skip this today. Can I install this in the background? Is it gonna just... I just upgraded my internet. It looks like it's going fast. Ooh! I upgraded... I didn't even upgrade my internet. I changed my modem to a modem that wasn't 10 years old. And it jumped from like 30 megs a second to like over 100. It jumped to like 200. It was like, oh, it's been, the internet, the modem was holding back our internet for so long. I'm even live streaming. It's still working. Unbelievable. Oh, did it just stop? I shouldn't talk about it. I shouldn't do it. Okay, so let's, while that's downloading, let's do Maya. So you know, we've done the band lab. Can we have multiple characters in the scene, and would they all need to use Rokoko motion capture? thinking. Like, no, but also if it's like, I used Rokoko motion capture for the background character, and the foreground character is a Mixamo animation. Like, that's not the focus of your scene has to be on a character using Rokoko motion capture. Now, if you want to have a bunch of characters in the background that are using Mixamo assets, I think that's fine. But the focus of your animation needs to be a character that is using Rokoko motion capture. If you have background dancers or people that are walking, you know, and using Mixamo animations, that's fine. You have a crowded scene. It's a news reporter giving a weather report in the background. You have a crowd that's walking by and use Mixamo animations. That's fine, as long as the focus of your scene is Rokoko. So that's kind of the yeah. It's a part of the game. I don't spend my salary on subscriptions, but you know, we this is why I know, like, so I know a little about a lot, because we have people who we need to know how everybody works with our motion capture. So I gotta know a little bit about every program, which is which is why I'm always forgetting about half of them, referencing my own videos. Okay, so let's go, and we're gonna open up a. So I'm not gonna go from 0 to 100 in Maya. But I've got some pre-made Maya scenes that we'll use. I go through how to set it up 1 to 100 from soup to nuts in our tutorial on YouTube. Go check out our Maya tutorial. Where is it? Maya. And Maya has unbelievable mocap editing tools that I love. I used to use Maya for all of my retargeting purposes. Now a lot of the other software have better tools. Yeah, that sound is, yeah, we're fixing things upstairs. Okay, but we've got a character here, and you can see I've already gone in and I've done my character definition. Let's go and download some more free mocap from our free motion capture tools, our free motion capture that we've given out. And in the case of Maya, Maya makes it a lot easier to use any mocap skeleton. So a lot of our older motion capture packs will work in Maya if that's what you're using. It's just a lot easier to use non-standard skeletons. And a lot of these older packs were exported with either Mixamo or Human IK skeletons. So that makes it really easy. But in our case, we got a robot. Let's do home shopping network. I'm going to use the Mixamo skeleton. We could use Human IK. I'm not going to. I'm going to use Mixamo. We're going to use ShamWow guy. Let's download this. So again, this is free motion capture anyone can use for the contest. We've downloaded it. Let's go import it into our Maya scene. There we go. The sizes are different, but it actually doesn't really matter in our case. We're going to add a new skeleton definition. We're going to select the hips. I have a Mixamo skeleton preset, so all I need to do is add that preset, and then look at this. We got our mocap on our character. Easy as that. So again, I go through this whole system in our retargeting tutorial. This looks so good. This is the ShamWow guy, but you could, I think, use this for a lot of different, this could be any product. Oh, check this out. Hey, are you interested in buying our new Robo Accelerator? Blah, blah, blah. Like, this could be anything, right? So what's great about Maya is I can go and I can bake this to a control rig. And I did not need to do, as long as you have a character definition set up, which is just how you do retargeting in Maya, it will automatically generate a control rig, an IK control rig for you to use, which is unbelievable. Another thing that Maya does that other scenes do is that it does really good like foot contact with the ground, even between disparate characters. So if you have like a Hobbit character who has very short legs, Maya is going to do the best job out of any program of making sure that you don't have foot sliding on that character. To answer your question, creator, can it be an intro to a program, multiple shots, or must it be one shot? Anything you want. It can be multiple shots, it can be one shot, anything. No restrictions there. Just has to be like a TV show theme, right? So totally can be multiple shots. I think that a lot of them will be multiple shots. It's a TV show or it's a commercial. It's something that you would see when you're flipping through. But great question. We should add that to the FAQ. So I've baked this down to a control rig. I can delete my Mixamo animation at this point and look at what we got here. IK control rig. And what that means is that it makes it very easy. So right here, for example, I'm passing this product from my robot's hands and it doesn't quite connect very well, right? So if I wanted to change that, what I could do is select this wrist control rig null. I can go to the animation layer system, which is built into Maya. It's really fantastic. Create layer from selected. Now you can see we have no more keyframes on that layer. So now I can hit S, create a keyframe, go to where the switch happens, and I probably would want to, make it so that I'm like handing it off to this hand a little bit better. Add a keyframe, and then zero it out so it goes back to how it originally was. And we have just done a very quick edit that makes it look way better, right? So this is an amazing tool. Maya is so good at doing this. Hey, I want to have them do like a little, right here, keyframe, or actually right, keyframe. Oh, do a little dip. It makes it really easy to do quick little edits, right? So love Maya for doing retargeting, for doing mocap editing, and we have all of this. Yes, and also be very careful of auto keyframe generating in general. Good point, Origin. The nice thing is though, if you're using the animation layers tool, I can always just delete layers, right? And that's true in every one of these softwares if I make some huge mistake and I need to get back to nothing. Okay. Oh, goddamn. Okay. Ugh. Not gonna deal with that right now. So instead, we are going to go to just look at it on our YouTube channel. So again, this is in our playlist of ultimate retargeting workflows. Just search for iClone retargeting workflow. And it is, the great thing about iClone is that it is super easy. Essentially what you do is you just you take a Mixamo skeleton. So if I was getting some of our free mocap, let's pause this. From the free mocap that we provided, game show, whatever, I would download the Mixamo one. Then you have the Mixamo one, and you basically just drag it onto the character that's in your scene, and it automatically works. You want to drag it onto the character, right? Then you have a little import window. I think you leave. Oh no, so you do need to. Then you re-import. Then you select the same animation that you're using, that you just dragged in, because that animation has a T-pose at the beginning, and that will help it work, and it just works, which is really great. And iClone has fantastic retargeting tools as well. It's really amazing, and also really incredible mocap editing tools. And then they also have facial motion capture systems. And then they also have things like hand puppetry system. Chris Smith, can you use the dual camera AI mocap, but you can pay just 1 month for Rokoko Vision service? I don't know if we still offer it on a monthly basis. We do have a 14-day free trial though. If you use that, go for it. Yeah, I just use the 14-day free trial. We just want people to use these tools, check them out, see if they're going to work for them. It's about exposing these tools to the public. So use the 14-day free trial. For us, it's a win, because hopefully you have a good experience and you come back for more when it makes sense for you to invest in motion capture and you need it more or something. Yeah, use the 14-day free trial. Don't matter. Just has to be Rokoko somehow. So you can see some of these incredible retargeting tools. So yeah, looks great. So if you have questions about how to do iClone retargeting, and look here, I'm using the live puppeting. So here I did use, this is the free, this is our free tool, Rokoko Vision. God, that was a very dark room, Sam. That's bad for using AI mocap. But our Rokoko Vision system, it doesn't include facial motion capture. It doesn't include hand motion capture for the dual cam or the single cam. But in iClone, there are these really cool like live puppeting systems that you can live record different like movements for the hand, which is just so cool, because hand motion capture really does give a lot of life to characters. It adds so much having those digits be moving. So I would, it always helps to have hand mocap moving a little bit. So yeah, sorry I couldn't get this up and running. I just don't want to go through reactivating the Rokoko whatever account on reallusion right now live, because we've done an hour and a half, pretty good. So the last thing we're gonna do is let's go over Cinema 4D, saving the best for last. So we'll use the same we'll use that same Leonardo character that we did earlier. Courtroom, Mixamo, Loya 02. This is it's gonna be an animation about a Ninja Turtle Loya. Sign in. You gotta do an online sync every 14 days, apparently. Okay, you get this warning because I have the Rokoko plugin installed for Cinema 4D. It's a warning that pops up every time just because we need to remind you that you have to use a special live streaming thing. We're not talking about live streaming into Cinema today. No sneeze. Oh, that's a tease. Okay, let's go and import our Leonardo. So this is a Mixamo character that we downloaded that was auto-rigged. And for Cinema 4D, I would recommend using the Mixamo version of any of the free mocap that we have. But again, Cinema actually has a pretty good tool in terms of retargeting using non-standard retargeting skeletons. So like human IK it can handle. It could handle the Unreal skeleton even. It could handle kind of anything. Okay, so we're downloading. We got our Rokoko mocap in here. Let's change our project settings to 24 FPS. We got our Rokoko motion capture. So how do we get this mocap onto our character? Well, we need to go to frame 0. And we're going to add into our mocap. Let's do a little bit of cleanup here. Keep things clean. Alt-G to create a folder. Call this Leo. Okay, so for both Leo and for our mocap, I'm going to add under rigging, a character definition tag, and to the hips of both of them. And again, I go through all of this in our tutorial on Cinema 4D. Right here. So you can find out how to do this whole process in Cinema. But it's pretty easy. We're going to go and create these character definition tags. We're going to open them up in the manager. If we just hit extract skeleton, because we're using a Mixamo character in this example, it's all going to work automatically. You can see if we go to spine, it added the spine bones. If we go to neck, it added the neck bones, blah, blah, blah. For the Leo character, I'm actually going to delete spine 2 and spine 1 because they'll be tearing on the mesh. We just need that first spine bone. We don't want the other spine bones to be retargeted, so I can actually just delete them from here. Then I'm going to go to the character definition tag for our mocap, extract skeleton. I used that Mixamo skeleton export from the free motion capture, right? So Cinema had a very easy time figuring out which bones are which. It did it for us automatically. I'm going to set reference pose on both of them. And then under the Leo, under our character, and I'm going to make my mocap disappear. And I'm also going to make the joint chain disappear, hide it. If we go to the character definition tag, we go to create solver, and now we can just drag in the character definition tag from our mocap, and voila. We have motion capture on our Ninja Turtle. Now, unfortunately, Cinema 4D, unlike Maya, you're going to get foot sliding a little bit, and that's because there are subtle differences between the proportions of our mocap avatar and our character. The solution here, if you're going to stick in Cinema 4D, is just frame out the feet. Or don't worry about it. I mean, they're not that bad. But you will see a little bit of sliding and funkiness. It's just a function of how it works. But there we go. And there's, if it's a Mixamo character, in this case, there's a Mixamo control rig that can be useful for doing IK editing. Control rigs are tough in Cinema 4D. It's just the way that they are. Unless it's a Mixamo character, then there's a relatively easy way to get an IK control rig. But you can do FK control rigs using the nonlinear editor, animation editor in Cinema. So what I could do is select all the children, basically every joint in my character skeleton. I go up to Window, go up to Dope Sheet, and right now it's referencing the motion capture. It's not actually baked. Like if we check these keyframes on the joints, there's no keyframes on here. It's referencing the motion capture, which does have keyframes. If we want to bake down the mocap to our character so it's not a reference anymore, we can go to function bake objects in the Dope Sheet, hit OK. It's gonna bake. I think it just bakes to the in and out points. At this point, we can delete our motion capture, and we still have, now see, we have actual keyframes on here. And if we wanted to do FK editing, mocap editing, what we could do is go up to animate, add motion clip, uncheck remove included animation. Then we have a motion clip that got added, open in timeline. And what you can do is you can, how does this work again? I forget how this works. This is in the tutorial. How do I add a layer? Add track. Add motion layer, throw it on top, and now we can, I believe, we should be able to do some FK editing, which isn't ideal. It's not really what you want to do. I forget how this works. Do the influence. I don't know. There's some way to do it. I forget. It's in the tutorial. I haven't done it in so long. So check the tutorial if you want to do basic mocap editing. Yeah, mocap editing. But yeah, it's easy enough to do. And that's how you get mocap on to your character regardless. Cinema is just more limited when it comes to mocap editing. Like, it's better to live within the limits of the system as opposed to breaking your head. I don't know if this can happen in 4D Light, Cond Brave Universal. It might... might not be in 4D Light, the free version of Cinema. Oh. Oh, but there we go. We went through pretty much every software and looked at how to do retargeting. And we're going to be putting out a video soon about where you can find all these tutorials, where you can find these live streams, where you can find these resources that's in one spot to help people who want to enter the contest. Yes, Luke Crescente has got the right answer there. Yeah, 14-day free trial is a good project. You just got to plan it out and do it. And yeah, look at this. Look at this happy little bastard. Oh, that's how you do it. You go to add. Hold on. I remember now. Ha! Okay, so if I wanted to, you can see all the keyframes just disappeared, I think. Yes. Now there's no keyframes. So now, like, look at this. This would be like an easy one. When this character sits down, the head is like looking up too far, right? So I would add a keyframe here. Add a keyframe here. Wait, did it reverse it? I don't know, but that's how you do it somehow. Something like that. Okay. I think we're gonna call it there. Very productive session. I hope this was useful to people. Yeah, you know, working with mocap is new to a lot of people, but it's not impossible. And I think that the way that we've set it up in a lot of cases makes it a lot easier than it has been in the past. So that's a little comfort, I think, if you're struggling with getting your mocap working, but it's really even never been easier, whether you're using Rokoko tools to get the motion capture or whether you're actually trying to get pre-made mocap onto characters or whether you're trying to live stream, right? That's the goal. That's the Rokoko goal, is make this as easy as possible for a one-person team, for one person to do all this. I'm going to call it there. Thanks so much for joining. Thank you, Alberto. Thank you, Origin. Really nice to see everyone. Really nice to see such a bump in chat. We are going to be back next week making more motion capture. Maybe we'll have a metahuman focused one next week too. But we're going to make more mocap. I want to do a whole session where we're going to make more idols and then like sitcom reactions where it's like looks to the camera like, you know, kind of things, and we'll make mocap next week. It's going to be a blast. So until then, have a good weekend, everyone. If you're in California, enjoy the rain. And we'll see you on the next one. Okay. Bye-bye. See y'all. I never know where to end these things. I'll just do sounds until I think it's done.